perception can be influenced or determined by our circumstances and just other things that are happening in our lives or around us. So that what we see or what we think we're seeing might be different depending on our circumstances. One time, Edith and I were in Idaho, and then we left there and we were going to Pennsylvania for weekend meetings at a church in Pennsylvania. And so we drove from Bonners Ferry, Idaho to Minneapolis. We got into a snowstorm and got delayed, and we had to get to Minneapolis for our flight. And so we drove mostly through the night. We got to Minneapolis early in the morning. We went to a hotel. We got a shower, a little nap, and got on the plane and flew to Philadelphia. And so we had been up all day Thursday, and then we flew, or all day Wednesday, and then we flew Thursday, and we got to Philadelphia Thursday afternoon, and we were supposed to be at the church starting Friday evening. So we rented a car, and and I had driven most of Wednesday and Wednesday night through the snowstorm. And so Edith was saying, "Well, I'll drive. I can drive." And so because we were just exhausted, we had been traveling and not hadn't slept much, and but she said, "I'll just get a cup of coffee and I'll be able to drive." Well, she never drinks coffee, and in the airport, the coffee place we found in the airport was a Starbucks, so she got a Starbucks coffee and we headed off. And she was drinking coffee and driving, and things were going okay. But then after an hour or so, she was saying, "Oh, I'm starting to feel a little loopy. I don't know if I should be driving." And I said, "Well, I can drive." And so I started driving, and you know, the lack of food, the lack of sleep, and then the injection of all that caffeine that she just wasn't used to was just changing her perception. And so we were in kind of the coal regions of Pennsylvania. We were going up through the mountains, and she was just talking and chattering away, and we would come down a mountain. There'd be a town down in the valley, and she would look at town and say, "Oh, I just feel like I'm floating." And then somehow she got on the theme of horses, and she was talking about horses, and everything had to do with horses, and she was talking about horses. And so it was getting later at night, and we finally decided, we should get something to eat. And so we were just coming into Shamokin, and there was a Burger King. So we said, we'll stop at the Burger King and get something to eat. And it was, I don't know, it might have been um, 10, 11 o'clock at night. And so we went into the Burger King, and before we went in, he just said, "There's going to be a horse in there. You just wait. There's going to be a horse in there." And so we went in, and we were at the counter getting ready to order. And behind the counter, up on the wall, there was a mug rack, and it was in the shape of a horse, and it had hooks in to hang mugs on. And she was saying, "See, there it is. I knew there was going to be a horse in here." And she just started laughing, and she just laughed and was just laughing about this horse. So, and then the guy at the counter, young guy there, was trying to take our order. And so he's asking her, "Ma'am, what do you want?" And she just laughed. She just couldn't think of what she wanted. She would just laugh and laugh. And I said, "Well, just give her a hamburger and fries." And so, okay. And so we say, "What do you want to drink?" And I asked her. And so I asked her, "What do you want to drink?" She didn't know. She would just laugh and laugh. And so finally I said to the guy, "Well, like, maybe give her some milk." And he was like, "Yeah, that might be good." And so she got a milk, and we went out of there. But, her perception was changed by her circumstances, the lack of sleep, the lack of food, and then the injection of caffeine changed what she was seeing. And there were horses. There was a horse in Burger King.